These awards, earned, not bought. 23 years, 500 plus deals. But my story started the week I got laid off right after closing on my first home. No savings, no pipeline. Last year kind of felt the same. Uncertainty, rate hikes, hesitation. That's why I wrote the book Commission Earned Not Promise. Because consistency isn't luck, it's structure. If you're an agent trying to stay consistent in this market, grab the link in my bio. What's going on, guys? We are back on another episode of Real Estate and Sneakers. Uh, Trying to find a way to merge the two things together, and here we are on another episode. So today we are going to be talking about the Air Force Ones downtowns. So this sneaker dropped back in 2013, so they're 13 years old. Really, really dope shoe, in my opinion. I love everything about this. I love these so much that I actually bought a second pair. So if you look behind me, we have two left feet. Again, this is when Nike really take their time to make sneakers, a bunch of dope colorways. And again, like I said, this sneaker is 13 years old and still holding up pretty strong. I hear a lot of you young kids talking about Air Force Ones are old man shoes. You guys need to leave us alone and let us have what we need. Let us have our thing. So we're gonna talk about some real estate, figure out what's going on with the market and the interest rates.
So great time to be in the market now. The rates for 30-year is hovering around 6% still. For 15-year, they're right around 5.5%. So definitely a great time to get in, but more importantly, to go over your numbers to see what makes sense for your situation and your style of what you're looking to do. Great time to also start looking to sell and start preparing. Getting your home ready, speaking with somebody that could properly advise, what's the next steps, what you need to do. So
Now, without further ado, we have a triple threat here. This lady she does it all. She's seller specialist. She handles violations, probates, complex properties. She sold over 150 homes in less than 10 years. Happy to have you sitting down with us, Rosa Collado. Did I say that correct?
Yes, you did. Collado, right? Because
Collado.
yes, I usually say colado, and I'm like, I'm Spanish. I have to say collado. So let's change it up to collado. But I'm grateful to be here and a privilege to have father and son together talking about what's best. Sneakers. I love sneakers.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Let's jump into it. We're gonna jump all over the place today, if that's okay. What was your first ever job, if you can remember?
My first ever job was I do remember I was very young. I was 12 years old, and I started thinking, I'm like, wow, at 12 years old, I was a babysitter. So as a 12-year-old, I'm babysitting kids, right? Like 6, 7. So I'm like kid babysitting kids. So that's what I was doing. And even back then, I realized that I was like very responsible, and people did trust me. I mean, they're trusting me with your kids. And now people trust me with their homes.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, I think you and I probably started working around the same time. I was paper boy. So, from the way that we grew up, we had to get to it early, right? Which is why I started doing the paperboy route, and you started babysitting. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and if we wanted to get sneakers or clothes or anything, our parents were very busy. So their job was like, you want something, you go out there, you get it on your own. Yeah.
Yes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dramatic a buy is right now?
That's a great question. How dramatic are they? I would say an 8. And the reason why is because there's so much information
it is.
from rates, people on TikTok. And when you have so much information, sometimes it paralyzes people or it makes them dramatic. So I think that's why it's an 8, because they're overloaded with information.
There's a lot of information. You're right. You had a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how long have you been in real estate?
In real estate, so part-time I've been for about, I would say 8, close to 9. This year's gonna be 9. But full time will be 8 or 9. But in reality, I've been doing real estate, I would say maybe for 12, 13 years.
Oh, okay. Nice. What's the one thing that people assume about you that's completely wrong?
What do people assume around me that's completely wrong? That's a good question. I would say that maybe I'm a little soft.
Yep.
right? Because I'm calm.
Okay.
That's what I think some people, the people that don't know me, they'll be like, oh, she seems like she's soft, but I'm just more strategic. I don't like to panic a lot.
Right. Nice. Yeah, in this business, we can't. If people think that you're soft, that's actually pretty good. I mean, with the real estate business, we have to be. I don't want to say aggressive, but kind of like being a straight shooter in a sense. In this business, we can't waver. So when people are asking questions or they come to us and they need answers, we have to be the ones to be able to guide them because we are like the authority figure in a sense, right?
Yeah, I agree. And that's where people feel softness from me because I'm listening to them. I'm like, I'm being really, I'm related to their situation. But more importantly, it's like, let's be strategic. How are we going to do this? Right. So I'm not of a panic. So for them, they're like, wait, why are you not panicking? People is almost falling apart. I'm like, hey, let's calm down. Yeah, because that's really what we're here too, is to calm people, especially when they're so stressed out. Because real estate is stressful, has a lot of emotion. Yeah, so it's like, how can we really help people manage their emotions?
Nice. I love it. What made you get into the business?
What made me get into real estate?
Well, you just told me off air, but
Yeah.
you want to tell them?
So off air. So the reason why I got into real estate, my mom had purchased a home in Corona, got a great property, so we thought, right?
Yeah.
And one of the tenants called and basically called the city, and she got a violation. Another tenant's like, I'm not gonna pay rent anymore.
Oh my God.
So it was like one problem after another. And she went to a real estate broker, the one who actually sold her the property. He said the best thing you need to do is just sell the house. And because you have so many violations, so many issues, nobody's going to want to buy your house. So your best bet is to do a short sale.
Oh my God.
And she lost so much equity in that property because she did a short sale. And that's where I got into real estate because I'm like, if somebody took advantage of my family at that time, I'm like, I don't want people to get advantage of. So that's why now I'm like, I want to focus my business now is how can I educate people to not get taken advantage of. Especially I'm Latina, so a lot of Spanish and also minorities. They don't know, and what you don't know will hurt you. So my goal now is to how can I educate and help people really protect themselves and their family in the future.
Nice. Did you think that you would still be going in the business years later?
It's funny, we were just talking about that. He's been doing it for how many years? At
23, going on 24.
23, almost 24. And I started thinking, I'm like, have you never wanted to give that up?
Many times, man. I wanted to get out of the business.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have any here now. Like people look at me, I'm like, it happens, but it's a great business when when you work it properly. And I think going out there and doing the best that we can, being advocates, like you said, for people that look like yourself and also myself, and making sure people don't get taken advantage of is a lot of the reasons that we do it. And I think the joy comes from that,
Absolutely.
and it makes you want to continue to to stay in the business.
Yeah, and you took the words off my mouth. I've always also thought multiple times of wanting to get out, but then I realized like over time, I think that God put me in this situation for a reason.
Amen.
I think this is my calling. So for me, it's like, hey, how can I create a purpose within real estate?
I love it.
So that's why I feel like I'm gonna stick here for a while.
Good. We love to have you. Fresh.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how was your first deal? Was it smooth or did it?
Oh man, my
Oh,
first
kinda,
deal
yeah.
was a nightmare,
Yeah.
complete nightmare. So I'll explain to you guys what that nightmare was. So I was actually working corporate America. So I was part-time real estate.
Mm.
And you know, in the end of the transaction, the deal which came up that there were some major violations that didn't show up on the DOB, so violations, and then there was some issues that needed to be corrected. So the buyer, obviously emotional, was like, I want to get out of the deal.
Right.
Now the realtor calls me panicking, saying, oh my God, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, are we going to get this deal done? And then my boss comes and says to me, get off the phone now. And I'm like,
Keep trying to handle
yeah. And I said,
serious situation.
yeah. So I'm telling the realtor, hey, I'm going to call you right back. And what I learned from that, two things I learned. One is that when you work in corporate America or when you work for someone, I feel like they have power over your time. They also, they also kind of like make you react a certain way, right? So they have power over your reaction as well.
Sure.
And that was and not even that. It's like I had an opportunity that was right in front of me, and they were kind of taking that away.
Taking away.
Yeah. So, and then I also learned that with the realtors, like let's not panic. Sometimes people panic. So for me, I was able to like step back. I regulated, And then I negotiated. We closed the deal,
Oh, good.
which was
Good.
great. We ended up closing the deal.
Congrats.
Yeah, but more importantly, that was the day that I was like, you know what? After I closed that deal, I was like, I no longer want to work for corporate America. And I decided to quit the job, not out of emotion. It was just more out of like clarity that this is where I'm supposed to
Where
be.
you supposed to? Yeah.
And that's what I decided. I don't want to be in a place where I couldn't grow. Like I asked permission for growth. And I don't want that in any type of relationship, whether it's business or whether it's personal.
Yeah, you felt confined in a
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, I always tell people, like you said, there's nothing wrong with doing a 9 to 5, but I feel like the paycheck is what they give you to forget about your dreams.
Absolutely.
And we all have families and we all have things that we need to do. We have people that we need to take care of every day. But if you're working a 9 to 5 and you plan on going into real estate or you are doing real estate, the 9 to 5 should always be
Like the door.
like almost a door in a sense to help you get to where you're looking to get to, instead of doing that, because you do have a lot of restraints.
Absolutely.
So I that's always one thing that I've always said.
And I always say bet on yourself, because the reality is when I first did real estate that first year, I made double what I used to make in corporate America. And since then it was like double after double. And the reason why I even stayed in corporate America, I was like, oh, I just want to hold off to buy a house.
Yeah. Nice.
And I didn't even buy the house to corporate
No?
America. No, I ended up doing real estate full time for that 1 year. And I ended up making a good amount of money where I was able to put that 20% down.
Oh, you did 20?
Yeah, I did 20 for my first one.
You were better than a lot of people. My first deal, I bought I closed 3 months after getting licensed, and then exactly a week later I got laid off from work.
Oh my goodness.
And I was working the 9 to 5. So he was 3 months old, my daughter was 4. It was just a nightmare. But and that was my first deal. So, but one way or another, we figured it out, right?
That's awesome. Your first deal was your own property.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot going on. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't even do a home inspection on the house.
Oh my goodness.
But again, I had no idea what I was doing. So you learn. It's almost like trial and error in a sense.
I do have a question real quick. Do you still have that property though?
We kept it for 4.5 years,
Okay.
and then we ended up selling it, and we moved it to something bigger and better. But what was funny is when I closed on it, this was July of 2002. And once I lost my job, some of the people that I was working with, they said, well, your first payment is not due till September, so you have enough time to sell the house. I'm like, you don't know how I'm wired. So because I lost my job doesn't mean I'm going to lose this house, so I'm not going to stay in this house.
Awesome.
One way or another, I'm going to figure it out, just like I've done everything else in my life, and we were able to keep the house. So it just worked out. But it goes back to what you said before. Number one, not panicking and getting strategic. Once you get strategic, you can figure out ways to make this happen. Even if it's tough for a while, you just have to do what you have to do. You put your head down and you figure it out like anything else.
And you had a big why. I mean, you had your kids. So you're not going to have your kids homeless or living in the streets.
Yeah.
Having your why is huge as well.
Yes, agreed. You got a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask now, what is more so your focus now today? Like helping, doing short sales, listings, buyers? Like what's your main priority, I would say, in a sense?
That's a good question, because I was focusing on doing like both buyers and sellers. Right now, my main focus is working with homeowners that have problems, because I don't know why, but I maybe it's because we're, growing up, I was born in the DR and came here. I was around a lot of chaos. So for whatever reason, around chaos, I'm very calm. So whether it's like if your house has violation, if you're like in a really bad situation, you inherited a property, I just like love all those problems because it's just the solution. So yeah, I'm more focused on people that have issues. Obviously, if you have a luxury property you want to sell, I'm your girl too.
You're vocal.
But I do thrive and love when there's issues with homeowners.
Yeah, nice. Do you find that right now in the market, from the time that you started, you think it's gotten easier or harder?
I think that it's different. I feel it's different because there's just a lot of information that's out there again, and people are just not sure what to do. And the reality too that homeowners, right, they're thinking like they're back again to 2021, where they're thinking, hey, I have the best home in the block. I'm going to overprice it. It's what I want. I don't care what the buyers want.
So what the market is calling for, right?
Right. They don't care about that. And then you got the buyers on the other hand that are thinking, hey, the rates are going to drop. I'm going to wait. So now you have two individuals. One is thinking, hey, I have the upper hand. The other one's like, well, I have the upper hand. I'm thinking about what I want to do. I want to be strategic. I don't want to just jump into anything. So that's what I'm seeing. It's like there's a lot from both where people are now paralyzed, not sure what to do.
Got it.
because there's so much information.
So much information. Yeah, it can be good and it can be bad. I think you just have to try to figure out a way to take what you need and use it to do what you need to do, which is not easy, but that's why they have people like yourself and myself that we can help, these buyers and sellers kind of navigate so that they can figure out where they need to go.
Because we've been through it, right? It's not like we're not.
100%.
We've bought houses ourselves. We've sold houses ourselves for our own, for our own family, our legacy. So because we have done it in the past, it's like, hey, how can we be the voice of reasoning? And that's one of the reasons too why I have now, like you asked, I've been focused so much on the sellers and making the information so so simple.
Nice.
Yeah, simplifying everything for
Nice.
people.
I love it. What do you think is a mistake that agents make now that cost them a lot of money?
I think that agents make a lot of mistake by being everything for everyone.
Jack of all trades?
Yes. Instead of focusing on one thing, like for me now, I'm like, I need to focus on just being working with sellers, because that's how you're going to master and you're going to become an authority once you just know one lane.
Sure.
But when you're everything for everyone, you're all over the place.
Agreed. That's a great answer. You had a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a deal where you felt like, all right, I could really do this and excel? And do you feel like there's a deal where you kind of are like, I want to take some steps back, or maybe maybe I should transition and do something else?
That's a good question. Let's see. That was a loaded question. I'm like, hold on. Repeat that question to me again. I'm sorry.
Was there a deal where you felt like, maybe I can excel, I could keep doing this, I could double what I did last year, or, just grow and perform better than, what you're doing previously? And then was there a deal where you kind of felt like, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I should transition and do something else?
I think that I do excel, like we were mentioning, deals that have issues, like when there's chaos and nobody knows what to do. And just for me, I get like a good feeling out of like we close the deal, the buyer's happy, the seller's happy. Everyone's, I do get that rush, so I do enjoy that when there's chaos, and there's just issues, whether it's violations, or just tenant issues. And then they haven't really been, there's been times where I thought about like, do I really want to keep this going here, because of sometimes because there's a client that's just that doesn't know how to handle their emotions. They can sometimes get very angry and use and that makes me sometimes had questioned me whether I want to continue. But then because there's so much equity in the line, that I'm like, hey, I always come back to remembering I'm here to help people manage their emotion. So it's like, how can I not lose that? Because I don't want someone to just go with a agent that doesn't have their best interests, and now they have the same thing that happened to my mom. So I'm like so passionate about it, and now I'm like, this is my calling. Like I cannot just let it go because there's emotions involved, or because there's small issues that can be resolved. Because the honest truth, everything, there's always solution for everything except death. Like when somebody dies, we can't take
There's no
hand
coming back.
but everything else can be fixed.
True. What do you think separates surviving agents from the ones that actually thrive?
Oh, let's see. I think that the ones that thrive is because I believe that they have this, they're just consistent, right? Constantly consistent, even when it just doesn't feel good. Right? Consistency when it feels good, and just that discipline, right? The discipline to just keep on and keep on going, and removing the ego. I think removing that ego too is major important, because sometimes we get so excited, we get motivated, like when things are flowing and things are going
Well, that's going good.
Yeah.
That's true.
But when it's not, what are you gonna do? Right?
What do you rely on, right?
Right. You gotta stay consistent. I think staying consistent and being disciplined is really the key for you to thrive, and having the right systems too in place so that you can avoid, the emotion sometimes, because real estate is like very emotional.
Very, very emotional. Yes. Yes. If the market's slow tomorrow, you think you're prepared? I mean, I know you are, but
Yeah, I I am prepared, and it's because one, I build really great relationship with homeowners,
nice.
so I have great relationship with people, and also because I've been focusing on listings with it, which is where you can leverage. Listings is how you leverage, and I've also purchased properties, so I have set myself up for protection now and also for the future. Because my idea is too, when I got into real estate, I thank God that I bought that house right away. But my idea was like, I want to help people. I don't want to get into real estate because I don't want to just be desperate
Right.
for a commission.
Right.
So if I'm not desperate for this commission, right, now I'm like thinking about that person in front of me. How can I help them?
Sure.
Versus like, how am I going to get paid?
Well, going back to what you just said, when you're working out of desperation, people can tell,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel natural.
Right.
And I feel like you're just trying to push me into a situation that doesn't benefit me, only benefits you.
Yeah.
And I always try to tell people that it's like you said, when you come prepared and you have that right mindset, even in the midst of chaos or when things are not going right, you can still, your clients can tell if you really do care or if, they're just another number or just another transaction.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think is your unfair advantage?
My unfair advantage. I think it's what we've been talking about here all the time. I mean, like in chaos, right? Just in real estate, guys, not in my website. And they have a very peaceful life.
Disclaimer.
Yes. But I think that because of what I went through at such a young age, I think that I become very relatable to people that are going through a hard time. And also the fact that I am bilingual, I do speak English and Spanish. I think that's also powerful here in New York City.
Yes, agreed. And I think you having the know-how when it comes to the violations and just some of those different issues, because you have a lot of agents who run away from it. And one way or another, if you think about it, a lot of the properties, especially in the boroughs, every property for the most part has a violation on it. So you have to try to find a way to be able to navigate throughout it, and also connect the clients with an attorney who also is pretty well versed with that as well,
Right.
which was what I try to tell people. So, like you said, you have some pretty good unfair advantages.
And the thing too is that that a lot of homeowners and a lot of realtors like, well, you have violations. Oh, you have a tenant that's not paying. Your best option is just to sell it to an investor and again lose all this equity. So I would love to help people like protect their equity and get as much money as they can. I do give you the options. I work with a lot of investors. I mean, I'm an investor myself, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I want the homeowner to feel really happy with the decision that they made. I want to sleep well at night.
Agreed.
But I think that there's so many options for people, and sometimes people just focus on one option. Hey, you have too many issues, just sell it to an investor, yeah, and get rid of it, just like they told my mom. And I don't think that was the right thing to do then.
Yeah. Hindsight is 20/20. So, things happen, but everything going forward, because she has you in her life, definitely you can help her navigate, and also your clients as well.
Yeah, and also through what happened to her, I'm in real estate, so I do own properties. She also owns property. So
Nice.
thank God, because of that mistake that was created, it created a different lifestyle for our entire family.
Amen. You have a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you just mentioned you owning some properties and your family owning properties. Is there any investment goals that you have in mind that you're looking to try to hit or accomplish?
So I am actually looking to purchase outside of New York.
Nice.
I was actually speaking. I met someone, another realtor from an Inman. She in South Carolina, and there's some great deals in South Carolina, and a lot of people are transitioning there. So I want to get like a 10, 20 unit building in that area is what I'm thinking, and then keep it at that, because sometimes it could be a lot for one person, but I'm thinking that I want to just grab another. So I'm constantly looking for deals, but that's what I'm really want to do, is get another maybe 10 unit.
So shy. That's nice. Yeah. South Carolina is a really, really nice area, especially by Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Florence. You have a lot of parts of South Carolina, and you have a lot of colleges down there too. So it's definitely a great area. Also a nice vacation spot too.
And the government there has so many, they're offering so many things to investors. If let's say you make a certain part of the property where you're now putting people that are low income.
Low income.
So now you can do 5%, you don't have to do 20% or 25% for a 10 unit building, which you and I both know that in New York, you need to put 20 to 25.
25%.
Yeah.
Yeah, minimum.
If you're going to buy a commercial building at
Nice.
that level.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. What do you think longevity in this business really requires?
And I think it's again like that discipline, right? I think it's the discipline, consistency, being authentic, and really helping people out and removing your ego. I think ego is major in our business, because there's a lot of individuals that really like to, hey, look at me and look at what I've done.
I'm number one. I'm number one.
Right. and look how many houses and all that, which is great. But the reality at the end of the day, each person that's in front of you, it's like, how can I help this person? People don't really care what you've done in the past. It
No
just
one
cares,
does.
what are you doing for me? So I think that if you stay with that focused mindset of like, how can I help someone? How can I stay disciplined when my nervous system is acting up and I'm emotional? How can I still stay consistent? How can I stay disciplined to make those calls, follow up? I think that is really what will let you stay long in this business
Nice. I agree.
and being passionate about the business. Because my goodness, isn't this emotional? I keep saying it.
Passion is a big one. People can tell when you're passionate about something. I mean, they always say if you are passionate about something, you feel like you almost never work a day in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I try to tell people if you're doing something and there's no passion behind it, it's going to be short lived. At least that's how I feel. Let's talk about some sneakers and the lifestyle for a second.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Heels at closing or sneakers?
At closing, I would say depends, but mostly sneakers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sneakers at closing.
Okay. Nice. I see you got the Adidas on,
Sneakers
the
that-
Converse.
Yeah,
Both look very comfortable.
we are very
Nice.
comfortable.
Nice. We love the Adidas. If real estate was a sneaker model, what would it be?
This right here.
Oh, okay. I love it.
I think it would definitely be that. And I like the slogan too. Well, it's classic, right? It's
Yes.
definitely classic. And I love the slogan. Just do it, right?
Let's do it, right? Yeah.
And that's what real estate is all about too. Real estate is about doing it, not overthinking.
I like how you're thinking. You got a question?
Yes, I was gonna ask, on like a regular day, a chill day, what do you wear?
What I'm wearing today,
Yeah.
I'm wearing like a little blazer or a top and my sneakers and some jeans.
Nice. Luxury listing energy or first time buy energy?
I would say luxury listing energy. Yeah.
We love it. We love it. We love it. If your career was a sneaker drop, would it be limited edition or general release? I think limited, but I don't want to ask.
I would say limited. I don't give everyone access. It's intentional, right? Intentional access.
We have to be intentional with our business and whatever we do. That's the only way that we can, thrive anyway.
Yeah.
What is a piece of advice that you would give to new agents?
The piece of advice I will give to any new agent would be to definitely choose a niche, right? If you want to work with sellers, then go all in on sellers. If you want to just work with buyers, master buyers, but you don't want to do everything. So I would say pick one lane and just master that lane. Become obsessive over that specific audience that you want to target.
I love it. I love it. You got a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say career-wise. I know you gave your insight on like what you're looking to do investor-wise, but I guess career-wise, what's the next 5 years look like for you?
That's a good question. 5 years from now. And I've been thinking about that because I've been thinking about where do I want to take my life because I've seen where it's been. And I'm still trying to get clarity as to where I want it to go 5 years from now. The only clarity I have so far is I want to definitely educate people. That's kind of like one thing I'm very passionate about. How can I educate? And how can I create a platform online? Because that's what everybody's doing now. And because everybody's getting educated online. So I'm like, how can I create a platform online where I can duplicate myself that way? That's what I'm thinking. And I also do want to not necessarily just invest myself alone, but I would like to invest with other people as well. I've always been a little nervous about investing with others.
Yeah, just like me.
Yeah.
Very skeptical.
Yeah, I am. And I think I want to give people opportunities to invest with me and see where that goes. And obviously have a very structure, but that's what I think I want to do. And I just figured that out now as I'm talking to you. So thank you for that question.
I love it. What would be a piece of advice that you would give to first-time homebuyers?
To first-time home buyer, I think, in which I tell most of my first-time home buyers, do not focus so much on the big number, on that purchase price. I want you to focus on your monthly payments. What are you comfortable with paying every single month? Because I'm not going to pay for you. He's not going to pay for you. And he's not going to pay for you. No one's paying for you but you. And at the end of the day, you want to be able to sleep well at night, knowing peacefully that you're able to make that monthly payment every single month.
Agreed. That's a great answer. When we talk to first time home buyers, myself and my son, we try to tell them that as well. The other day we were talking about the 50-year mortgages. Oh, you know what? Since we're talking about that, what are your thoughts on that? Because sorry to cut you off. I was trying to talk about it online and everybody wanted to attack me and say that I'm defended. And I'm like, but at the end of the day, if a 30-year mortgage, if the payments don't make sense for you at that point, if they're offering something else that's an entry point to help you get in, why wouldn't you take advantage of it?
Right.
What are your thoughts on it?
I do like that way of how you just explained it, because the reality is you're paying someone mortgage, right? Whether it's your own mortgage or somebody else's mortgage.
Amen. Talk to them.
Yeah. And if you can get in with a 50-year mortgage, I'm saying, hey, put your foot in there. And the reality is that when you have real estate, just like you said, you had your property for 4 years. You ended up selling it, you got equity, and then you bought something bigger. So I always tell people, even the first house I purchased, that wasn't my dream home. That was just my foot in the door
Amen.
so that I can buy more property. I still have that property though. But I would say that if you can, get in, if you can get in. And my thing is, come up with an exit strategy. What is your strategy, right? For me, I bought a house, really high price, but I wanted to live in Astoria. I wanted to be there. And what I'm doing now is that instead of me refi, everybody's like, just refi, the rates are down. And I'm not going to do that. My goal is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay that monthly payment that I'm supposed to do every month. I'm going to pay one every year, so that now, instead of me doing a 30-year mortgage, now it comes down to, I think, 22,
22, yeah.
28 or something like that. But if it's, so 14 years, I know I would say 14 years by making one extra payment just for principal. So it's all about strategy. If you can get in the door into anything, whether it's real estate, and you know you're going to get equity, why not?
I tell people that all the time too. We actually should have talked about this off air, but you know what you can also do is the one extra payment that you're making a year. If you take your payments now, you break it up into two. So instead of making one payment a month, due to biweekly, it works out to being 13 payments, like for the year instead of 12. And if you do that and you still send one extra payment a year, then you'll chop it down and you're chopping 7 to 9 years off of it.
Well, thank you. I'm actually going to do that. I like that.
Yeah.
Doing that extra and it's separated.
Yeah, because I started, you're looking at a bunch of different things to try to figure out what makes sense. And, a lot of banks, of course, won't share that with you. And if they do, they want to charge you for it. So I'm like, I'm researching a bunch of things and I see, okay, so if I do biweekly, you do the math, you sit there and calculate. It's like, okay, this works out to be 13 payments. Okay, yeah, let me do that to try to chop into the pay down the principal a little bit quicker. So, like you said, there's a lot of different things that we can do to help you get to that end goal a lot quicker.
Absolutely. I'm sure just like you, we both are not like an agent where it's like, we sell the house, we disappear with an agent where it's like, hey, let's think strategically. There's clients have called me, hey, I want to refi. Like, should I do it? I'm like, I don't think it's the right move to do. Yeah. Let's do a HELOC, if anything. If you need to take money out, let's do a HELOC, especially if you have 3% interest rate. We're not seeing that. I don't know when we're going to see it.
I don't know what.
Hopefully you might see it as you get older. We don't know. Right?
Yeah, hopefully it'll come back. I mean, if not, the goal always, just like you said, is find a way to get in the door and build your equity, start to do what you need to do. It'll help you position to be able to pivot for whatever else that you're looking to do. If you're looking to pick up a multifamily or whatever else that you're looking to do, it just makes it a lot easier as long as you always have that entry point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else that you have going on that you want to plug, let the people know about?
Well, let's see. I am, what I'm doing now, I'm not sure if we have buyers, sellers, or even real estate agents. Every month I am doing like a series to educate. So it's going to be like a webinar. So every month I'm doing a webinars. Right now I'm doing one in Spanish for buyers, but then the one coming up next month, it's going to probably be the last Tuesday of every month. And the one I'm going to have is going to be for homeowners.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Going over violations and how to make sure you don't get violations, understanding your Sony, right? So if you guys want to know more, follow me. Rosa Talks Real Estate on Instagram, and then Rosa Collado. If you search me on YouTube, I have a YouTube channel as well. But that's what I'm working on now.
Nice. Definitely send us the information. We'll put it out there. We'll promote it for you. And we appreciate you sitting down and hanging out with us. Wasn't too bad, right?
No, this is great. Thank you. I had a great time.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you again for your time. And guys, we have this ebook that's dropping. This is a physical copy, but commission earned, I promise. You can go to my Instagram. You can comment book to receive a copy of it, or you can go to my link tree, click on search Femi the Agent, and you can download a free copy of the book as well. So again, like we were talking about at the beginning, 23 years in the business, going on 24, done over 500 deals. So when it comes to real estate, I have a pretty good niche and a pretty good idea of how to help you navigate when it comes to how to do your business and how to become successful and how to stay successful. So this book was made for the agents, and go there and grab a copy. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, 516-218-1605. Femi the Agent on all social media platforms, son.
Femi the Realtor on Instagram, and 516-662-6824.
Thank you very much, folks, for your time. Stay safe and have a great day.
These awards, earned, not bought. 23 years, 500 plus deals. But my story started the week I got laid off right after closing on my first home. No savings, no pipeline. Last year kind of felt the same. Uncertainty, rate hikes, hesitation. That's why I wrote the book, Commission Earned, Not Promised. Because consistency isn't luck, it's structure. If you're an agent trying to stay consistent in this market, grab the link in my bio.